Good afternoon and happy Saturday to you. We're Christmas jumpered up. The weather outside is frightful. It's horrible. It's wet, disgusting, grey, and a proper day for staying inside and reading books, watching films, and that kind of caper.
Yeah, it was hard to even get in here.
Yeah, no, absolutely it was. Let's turn it around so we can see the squirtle today, who's with me.
Hello.
Hello. And talk us through... Oh, we need to put Santa back up.
Oh,
right, because
we bought loads more, and this Robin is a hand puppet.
Oh, you've got a hand puppet, yeah.
Wait.
He's cute, isn't he? He's cute. So we've got the cuddly Robin there.
Yeah.
We've got Father Christmas up there, and they are so squishy. These are so cuddlesome, aren't they? So we've got Father Christmas. We have got the penguin I think we saw last week.
Yeah.
We've got a reindeer. We've got a reindeer there over with me, and a gingerbread man. But these are so squishy, so squishy. Yeah. So one of our other jobs today is... Well, we're going to do one of the Christmas... Well, that makes it sound so grand. One of the Christmas tree. We're going to do the little Christmas tree. We've got a Christmas tree that sits in a pot in the garden. So we brought that in yesterday because I looked at the weather forecast today and thought, that's not a day I want to bring the Christmas tree in. So I brought it in yesterday. So we're going to do a little bit of decorating of that a little bit later. Big job of the day is building a new bed for...
Yeah, I've got a really high bed.
Really.
Like,
not like this. It's kind of up on the ceiling somewhere.
Yeah, and it's got like loads of shelves, so it's like quite hard to build. And my desk is like poking out on one side.
Well, if it all goes well this afternoon, I'll take some pictures and we can come and show it on here because it's when it all comes together, it's going to look lush. But it was 5 very, very heavy boxes of stuff.
Yeah.
And Mummy, because she had it on her watch to say how many trips up and downstairs we did. It was 33 trips up and downstairs to get all the stuff upstairs. So it's like a million pieces, and that bag with all the screws and things like that, and the bits
it's
of
like
paneling.
that long.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So I don't know whether it's ambitious doing that today. So Christmas tree. This putting the bed together. And I think we're then, because we're very excited in our house, we like I'm a Celebrity. So I'm a Celebrity starts tomorrow night, and so we taped earlier in the week, well, it might have even been last weekend, the kind of like the prequel show, the kind of it's just a reminder of everything that's gone before. So excited about that. So that's going to be our evening watching. And there's a kind of like, there's a takeaway van in Bradford Avon that does mac and cheese, and you like a bit of mac and cheese, don't you? So you and Emily are having mac and cheese for tea. And right now we've got hot chocolates. So we had to put hot chocolates with lids on. And you thought that was a solar panel, didn't you? But it's just a lid. But it's a clever idea. If we did kind of like, a drink with a solar panel that somehow kept you drinking. Yeah. Maybe that's a genius idea. So we've got your hot chocolate.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell because we have different hot chocolates. Which one? So we just had to take the lid.
Check. Do you want to check that yours is the kind of like is yours the pink one? I think I've got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pink because mine's a mint hot chocolate. So yeah. Cool. Right. Should we crack on with the kind of like the?
Yep.
That's not stopped it, is it?
Nope.
Right. The books today. We got 4 cracking books tomorrow. Potentially even a little 5th one tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have this one right here.
Christmas. Yeah, so we're definitely like that. As the weeks go on, the books will become more and more Christmassy. I looked through all the books this morning, and some are like proper the night before Christmas type stuff, and literally really appropriate for Christmas. And as we're still about a month or so away, these are still Christmassy. But they'll get even more Christmassy. So what we've got today, we've got Dasher, a new book that came out last week. I think I haven't read it, so I don't know. We'll all find out together what it's like. But it's supposed to be good, and it's all about how Dasher, the reindeer, went from being a regular reindeer to being one of Santa's reindeer. So that's Dasher. actually, I ought to say, come up to hello to my friend Lou. All of these 4 books are books that I recommended to you. So if you watch this one, these you'll know which ones you can maybe do in church. So there's Dasher. A lovely book called Merry Christmas Blue Kangaroo. We've got lots of Blue Kangaroo books. We like the Blue Kangaroo.
There's like Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday Blue Kangaroo.
Yeah, and Go to School or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, something like that. They're kind of a little bit of an old-fashioned feel about them, but there's something very kind of cosy and nice about them. So,
if you turn them around, there might be. Oh no, that's not.
Oh, what the other books are?
Yeah.
No.
They're on the front page.
I can't remember. The nativity play, all about all the things that can go wrong. I guess the kind of like the schools aren't really doing nativity plays this year because of that dreaded COVID. So this is a fun little take on nativity plays. We've trying to think who we've met of these people. We met Mick Inkpen because Chloe and Mick Inkpen. So Mick Inkpen and his daughter do the Zoe and Beans books. So I think next weekend we'll probably have one of the Zoe and Beans books. Can't remember what else it's called. Zoe and Beans.
Yeah, that is a
Christmas
big
list,
donkey though. Yeah, that is a big donkey.
Oh, it is, yeah. And finally today we're going to have the Christmas Eve tree, which is nice little books, nice little pictures rather. All about, I think from what I can remember, a Christmas tree branch that really wants to be a Christmas tree. So we'll see that. Right, shall we work our way through?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if you want to take your lid off your hot chocolate, or should I take your lid off your hot chocolate? Otherwise it'll stay. Me and Mummy fine with our when we go down to the caravan. When we keep the lids on, it's still too blinking hot to drink. So there we go. Right, give it a chance to breathe. Right, let us do. I think start with Dasher.
Yeah.
Start with Dasher. Right, can you see? Right, these look like they're going to be nice pictures. So Dasher by Matt Tavares. How would you pronounce that? Tavares.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a band back in the 70s called the Tavares, so maybe I'll go with Tavares. It says, you may have heard the story of how a certain red-nosed reindeer was chosen to guide Santa's sleigh one foggy Christmas Eve. You've probably heard of the 8 other reindeers too. Maybe you can even remember all their names. But you might be surprised to hear that there was a time long ago when Santa's sleigh was pulled not by a team of reindeer, but by a single horse named Silverbell. In those days, Santa didn't have quite as many toys to deliver as he does now. But over the years, as more and more children believed in the magic of Christmas, Santa's list grew longer and longer, and his sleigh grew heavier and heavier. Santa knew that pretty soon dear old Silverbell was going to need some help. And this is the story of how an ordinary family of reindeer became the most famous animals in the world. And it never would have happened if it weren't for a brave young doe named Dasher. So, the story of Dasher. Life was not easy for the reindeer family of J.P. Finnegan's travelling circus and menagerie. They spent long days crammed together under the hot sun as an endless stream of curious people jostled to catch a glimpse of them. Even at night there was little rest. Some nights to pass the time Mama would tell stories. It was a magical place, she would say. The air was crisp and cold and the ground was always covered with a cool blanket of white snow. Your father and I were free to roam under the glow of the night's North Star. Dasher, the youngest reindeer, loved Mama's stories. Is that the North Star, Mama? She asked. The very same, Mama said. We always knew we were home when it was directly overhead. I wish we could go there, said Dasher. Mama sighed. I do too, she said, but Mr. Finnegan is not kind to animals who try to escape. Day after day, under the watchful eye of Mr. Finnegan, the reindeer family delighted crowds wherever they went. Dasher liked being with her family, and she loved meeting so many children who were always kind to her. Sometimes they even fed her carrots, which were her very favourite food. But at night, while the others were sleeping, she would lie awake, gazing at the bright star on the horizon, wishing for crisp, cold air and cool blankets of white snow. One night, mighty winds shook the circus tents and rattled the animals' cages. Dasher was wide awake, wishing on the North Star, when she was startled by a loud creak. The gate to their pen had swung open. Dasher could hear rustling from inside Mr. Finnegan's trailer. She glanced up at the North Star and she looked back at her sleeping family. She knew that this might be her only chance. Her heart pounded. She took a deep breath and then she ran as fast as she could. On she went for hours with the North Star as her guide, but no matter how far she travelled, it was still way off on the horizon. Dasher began to wonder if she would ever make it there. She thought about turning back, but she couldn't remember the way. She didn't know what to do. So she looked up at the North Star and made a wish. Just then, Dasher heard something in the distance, a soft jingling coming from the woods. There, in a clearing, Dasher saw a man and a horse. "I'm sorry, Santa," said the horse. "The sleigh is just so heavy this year." The man smiled. "Now, don't you worry, Silverbell," he said. "We'll take all the breaks you need." "But the children," said the horse. "They'll all be heartbroken if we can't deliver all those toys by Christmas morning." "Children," thought Dasher. She stepped forward. Maybe I can help," she said. "Hello there," said the man. Dasher walked closer. The man smiled. "Have you ever pulled a sleigh?" he asked. Dasher shook her head. "I've never even seen a sleigh," she said, "but I pull a wagon just about every night." "Well," said the man, "how would you like to make a whole bunch of children really happy on Christmas morning?" "I'd like that very much," said Dasher.
That picture's the front.
That's the one on the
picture,
cover, isn't it? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the sun's kind of creeping in. Santa thanked Dasher and attached her harness. It was soft against her fur and its jingling bells made the most beautiful sound she'd ever heard. Santa climbed into his sleigh and Dasher pulled with all her might. Then suddenly the load felt lighter. Dasher looked down. They were flying! So it's Dasher and Silverbell the horse. All night, Dasher and Silverbell pulled Santa's sleigh through the air as Santa guided it from rooftop to rooftop, delivering toys to children everywhere. Dasher had never experienced such a thrill, and she ate so many carrots she felt like she would burst. She was having so much fun, she forgot all about the North Star. As the first light of dawn appeared on the horizon, they landed. The air was crisp and cold, and the ground was covered with a cool blanket of white snow. Dasher searched for the North Star on the horizon, but couldn't find it anywhere. Santa smiled. "Dasher," he said, "look up." And there it was, directly overhead. "Is that the North Star?" she asked. Santa's eyes twinkled. "Merry Christmas," he said, "and welcome home." The North Pole was just as wonderful as Mama's stories. Dasher roamed wherever she pleased, and Santa gave her all the carrots she wanted. But something was missing. "I love it here," she told Santa, "but I miss my family. I wish we could be together." Santa smiled. "That's your best wish yet, Dasher," he said. "Let's go and find them." Late that night, Dasher guided Santa's sleigh all the way to J.P. Finnegan's travelling circus and menagerie. "Mama! Papa!" Dasher whispered. "Everyone, wake up!" Mama lifted her head. "Dasher," she said, "is it really you?" "It's me, Mama," said Dasher. She told her family all about Santa and Silverbell and how the North Pole was just as amazing as Mama's stories. "But I missed you," she said. "You were all I wished for." Dasher led her family to Santa's sleigh and Santa attached their harnesses. "You're not going to believe this part," she said. When Christmas Eve arrived, Silverbell watched as Santa prepared his team. "Are you sure you don't want to come?" asked Dasher. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong voice, isn't it? "Are you sure you don't want to come?" asked Dasher. "I'm sure," said Silverbell. "I know the 8 of you will do a fine job." Late that night, as Santa and his new team of reindeers soared around the world, he called them by name for the very first time. "Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. And on Christmas morning, after all the toys had been delivered, they flew back to the North Pole, where they still live happily today. There the air is crisp and cold, the ground is always covered with a cool blanket of white snow. And Dasher has everything she ever wished for. Ah, that's beautiful. Like that. Like that story. Can I put that one over there?
Yeah.
Right, next one is the Nativity play. This is a fun one. I've read this for a long time. I can't remember whether you would have at some point you would have done cute little pictures. These ones. Tracy and Sam are in their school nativity play. Their mum is helping with the costumes. Tracy is one of the angels. She feels beautiful in her golden halo. She wants a magic wand, but Mum says that angels don't have magic wands. What have you been in nativity plays? Have you? I remember Emily's been an angel.
I don't think I've been an angel before.
No?
Actually, I have once, I think, but I can't remember what.
I think you were in a chorus of angels, weren't you? Rather, you weren't like Angel Gabriel or anything like that. I was a shepherd. Yeah, I was a shepherd a couple of times. Sam is a shepherd. With enough stripy towels, he'll look just like the real thing. Mum is having trouble with his beard. It's made of wool and sellotape, but it won't stay on. Sam is practising his words. The Saviour of the world is born. The Saviour of the world is born, he says to himself. Don't worry, says Mum. It'll be all right on the night. At last, everything is ready. The audience are in their seats. Mum and Dad are sitting in the front row with Mrs. Booth from next door. Backstage, everyone is feeling nervous. Now, says Miss Harvey, nice and loud, everybody, and shepherds, don't stand in front of Mary. The curtain opens. In the day of Caesar Augustus. Slow down a bit, Katie, whispers Miss Harvey. Joseph, the carpenter, and his wife Mary went up to Bethlehem. There's the donkey from the front cover. Joseph looks for somewhere to stay. No room, says the first innkeeper. Full up, says the second innkeeper. Too late, says the third innkeeper. But I'm worried about my wife. She's having a baby, says Joseph with a grin. The third innkeeper has an idea. I've a stable you can use, he says. And so Mary's baby, Jesus, was born in a stable. The animals gather round the baby and they begin to sing. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. Sing up, says Miss Harvey. Here come the shepherds. But where's Sam? Ah, it's all right, he was in the toilet. Tracy, the beautiful angel, stands in front of them. Fear not, she shouts, I bring you tidings of great joy. She tells the shepherds all about the baby Jesus, and the other angels play their recorders. Come, let us go over to Bethlehem, say the shepherds, and they gather round to look at the baby. One of the shepherds is looking at the audience. He waves, Hello, Dad. And there's Dad waving back. Now comes Sam's big moment. He walks to the front. His voice is clear and loud. The Saviour of the world is born, he tells the audience. Lovely, says
So I'm
Mrs.
guessing
Booth.
his beard is going to fall off.
I think it
and
does
that's
look like
it.
it's half fallen off already, doesn't it? Yeah. There's a noise at the back of the hall. Wise men are coming from the east, but the door won't open. One of the dads lets them in. Slowly they walk up to the stage. The wise men look serious. Their camel is having trouble climbing the steps. I was the back of a pantomime horse once with Jer. It's Jer's birthday today. It's not good being the back of the pantomime horse when you've got Jer as the front of the pantomime horse. Let me tell you. Where is he who is born to be king? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him, says the wise man with the bath salts. Joseph points. The wise men lay their gifts by the manger. Gold I give to the infant king. Frankincense the gift I bring. Myrrh is mine, so let us sing. Our joyful Christmas praises ring. So Joseph and Mary, the innkeepers, the shepherds, the angels, the wise men, the camel, the donkey, the shepherd, the sheep and the cow all sing together. Join in, everybody, says Miss Harvey. Mr. Bryant, the caretaker, switches on the overhead projector, and up come the words. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth, the mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, joy the triumph of the sky. With the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem.
Wait, go back a bit. Look at his beard now.
Oh, it's virtually off now, isn't it? That's great. I like making Pence pictures. Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. Like that one. We got a few nativity plays, kind of or ones that are themed around the nativity play. So, right, 2 more to go. Need a slurp of hot chocolate?
Okay.
Okay. Let me hold that while you have a slurp. I will have a slurp too.
Bit hot.
Too hot still. Maybe alright for have a slurp after this one. Right. Merry Christmas, Blue Kangaroo. By Emma Chichester Clark. She sounds very posh having that name. Blue Kangaroo belonged to Lily. He was her very own kangaroo, and it was his first Christmas. Look, whispered Lily, it's snowing. Just for you, Blue Kangaroo. Lily made her own Christmas cards. She drew robins and holly and she stuck stars on them. I've made one for everyone, she said, and one just for you, Blue Kangaroo. Just for me, thought Blue Kangaroo. I wish I could make one for Lily. The next day, Lily and her mother made Christmas decorations. They cut up coloured paper and stuck it with glue. It's going to be so pretty, cried Lily, and it's just for you, Blue Kangaroo. And for you, said her mother. In the afternoon, Uncle George and Lily's father brought home the Christmas tree. It's Blue Kangaroo's first Christmas, Uncle George, said Lily. Well then, said Uncle George, here's a tree just for you, Blue Kangaroo. Just for me, thought Blue Kangaroo. What will I do with a tree? Just for you, Blue Kangaroo. Very pretty tree, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The next day, Lily and her mother wrapped up presents. I hope you're not looking, because this one's just for you, Blue Kangaroo, said Lily. Lily helped put the presents under the tree. Just for me, thought Blue Kangaroo. I wish I had one for Lily. Later on, Aunt Jemima and Aunt Florence came over. Aunt Jemima brought mince pies and Aunt Florence brought gingerbread men. One for you, Lily, and one for your little brother. And this one is just for you, Blue Kangaroo, said Aunt Florence. Just for me, thought Blue Kangaroo. He's just like me. It's a kangaroo-shaped one. Lily's grandparents arrived in the evening. It's Blue Kangaroo's first Christmas, said Lily. Everyone sang carols round the tree, and then Lily sang one all by herself. Just for you, Blue Kangaroo, she said. Just for me, thought Blue Kangaroo. I wish I could sing for Lily.
That would be good if, like, that cookie, they would put, like, blue icing on it.
Yeah, no,
so
exactly. That's what you would have done. Yeah, to get the whole hog. Before bed, Lily hung up her stocking. Do you think Father Christmas will come, she asked. He'll come when you're fast asleep, said her mother. Good night, Blue Kangaroo, whispered Lily, and she closed her eyes tight. But Blue Kangaroo lay wide-eyed through the night. Suddenly, there was a funny noise, and Blue Kangaroo's whiskers bristled. His ears tingled. Is it Father Christmas? He wondered. A big yellow moon was shining through the house, and everything was quiet. Then he heard it again. It must be Father Christmas, thought Blue Kangaroo. Perhaps he can help me. Blue Kangaroo waited. The noises got louder. Then crashing and bump. Father Christmas, he whispered. What can I do for you, little Blue Kangaroo? Asked Father Christmas. Well, Lily says everything is just for me, but I want something just for her, and I haven't got anything, said Blue Kangaroo sadly. Has she been good? Asked Father Christmas. Oh, yes, said Blue Kangaroo. Then you might just find something in my sack, said Father Christmas. Have a look. Blue Kangaroo looked, and he found something just exactly right. Father Christmas wrote a label for Blue Kangaroo so that he could hang his present on the tree. Then they had some milk and cookies. "Good night, Blue Kangaroo," said Father Christmas. "Lily is a lucky girl to have such a good kangaroo as you." In the morning, Lily ran downstairs with Blue Kangaroo, and she found that there were 3 stockings hanging on the mantelpiece. Oh, little tiny one. "Look," said Lily, "it says, 'Just for you, my good friend Blue Kangaroo, from Father Christmas.' How did that happen?" she asked. Then Lily noticed something else. "Look," she said, "a little blue heart on the Christmas tree. That wasn't there yesterday. Who can it be for?" The little blue heart had a ribbon with a tiny Christmas card tied onto it. Lily read the message out loud. It said, "Just for you, Lily, with love from Blue Kangaroo." "Oh, Blue Kangaroo," whispered Lily, hugging him tight. "Just for me, from you?" "Yes," thought Blue Kangaroo happily. "Just for you, Lily. Merry Christmas." Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Like that. Like that. Right, one more story. The Christmas Eve tree. Let's see what this is all about from what I can remember. A forest of Christmas trees stretching over the hills. That's where the story begins. There the little fir tree was planted, but planted carelessly, so that when the wind blew strong it fell sideways onto its neighbour and had no chance to grow. Which one are we talking about here, do you think?
I'm not sure.
No, can't see. Maybe it'd be obvious on the next page. The years went by until one December, when the foresters dug up trees for the Christmas market. The little fir tree, stunted and still tangled with its neighbour, was loaded onto a trailer and driven down the motorway to the city. "Oh my," it said breathlessly, for it was at the bottom of the pile. The tallest trees were unroped and taken away, one to stand proudly in a cathedral, another in the middle of a large square, and a third to decorate the stage at a grand Christmas ball. But most of the trees were bought by ordinary folk for houses where there were children who covered them with stars and silver tinsel, chocolate mice and small secret parcels. That's what we're going to do later on. Yeah. The little fir tree and its companion were taken to a large store, where late on Christmas Eve they were the only trees left unsold. A shopper hurried in to make a last-minute purchase. "You'll not want this weedy thing, miss," said the shop assistant, as he pulled the little fir tree from the roots of the bigger tree and threw it to one side. The customer smiled and went off, pleased with her buy, but the little fir tree felt fearful of what its fate might be. There was a boy in the shop, drawn in from the rain outside by the warmth and the lights and the wonderful spicy smell of Christmas. He said, "You throwing that away? Could I have it?" The assistant looked at the little fir tree. Hardly what you'd call a tree at all. He shrugged and handed it over. After all, it was Christmas Eve and the store would soon be closing. The boy went outside into the cheerless evening. He held the little fir tree carefully in front of him so that none of its few crooked branches would get snapped off by shoppers on the pavement. He set off on the long walk to the river. On his way he found a cardboard box in the litter bin and he took it along too. When he came to the river, the tide was out and down the steps a small pebbly beach was showing. The boy climbed down and, digging the mud with his hands, he planted the little fir tree in the cardboard box. Near the steps under the arches of a railway bridge, the boy had another cardboard box big enough to sleep in. He put the tree on the pavement in front of him. "What a poor thing I am," thought the little fir tree. But the boy seemed pleased, so the little fir tree felt more cheerful. "I belong to someone now," he said to himself, and it began to feel like Christmas. Oh, I think he's a little poor boy, isn't he? A passer-by dropped a coin into the boy's lap. It was enough to buy him supper. But instead he crossed over to the newsagent and brought some candles and a box of matches. He fixed the candles to the branches of the little fir tree. Now other people were returning to claim their cardboard boxes for the night. They gathered round the boy and the little fir tree. An old busker with his accordion sat down, and soon the notes of a Christmas song blended with the heavy rumble of the trains overhead. Everyone started to sing. More people gathered. Home-going travellers, theatre-goers, sightseers. A policeman tried to move them on, but they stood where they were. The singing people and the traffic was brought to a halt. The candles burned steadily and the old man played and still the people sang. The little fir tree felt it would burst with happiness, for it was obvious the boy had forgotten that tonight he would be sleeping in a cardboard box under a railway arch, and that tomorrow he would not eat turkey, but soup in a soup kitchen, if he was lucky. The magic of Christmas Eve was everywhere. A few days later, the boy moved on. "You're more dead than alive," he said sadly to the little fir tree as he went. And the tree, feeling dry and brittle, had to agree. But while other Christmas trees were piled onto January bonfires, the little fir tree was put in a road sweeper's barrow. "There's a green shoot here," said the road sweeper, looking at the tree's roots, and slyly he planted it in the corner of the park gardens. "There you will find it, not so little now, for against all odds it grew. If not big and tall, at least cheerfully stout. Now it stretches out its branches for sparrows, pigeons, babies in prams, lovers and office workers. Mice nibble its roots." And as the winter days shorten, the fir tree dreams of its poor beginnings in the hills, of that magical Christmas Eve, and of sunny days in the park. "Who would have thought," it says to itself, as it looks forward to another spring. There. Nice. That's been nice stories today. Enjoyed them. And we got some corkers tomorrow. Trying to think, we're going to have Crayons Christmas. Definitely going to have Crayons Christmas. So let's leave that one here. We've got Snow Day tomorrow, which isn't strictly speaking a Christmas book, but we had a book last week called That Christmas by Richard Curtis and Rebecca Cobb, and Snow Day is one of those. So whilst not strictly speaking Christmas, we all associate Christmas with snow, don't we? Even though we don't really generally get snow.
I can't really remember the rest of the ones for tomorrow. Definitely no Crayons Christmas and Snow Day.
Snow Day, we got... Did we have... It was a Peter Rabbit book tomorrow as well, wasn't it?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Christmas Tale of Peter Rabbit. And Grandpa's Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Is that it?
And one other. But they're all nice ones again tomorrow. So as I say, as the weeks go on, they will become even more Christmassy, and we'll try and make the room even more Christmassy, even though we've made it already. We've already got five Christmas characters in here, so we'll put even more lights up, and we will get even more Christmassy as the weeks progress.
Yeah, because we've got those like lights that go down,
Oh, that's true. That's true. Let's flip it round. The people don't want to see me. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be back with more books and more hot chocolate, and we will probably take pictures of your new bed. If we've got that far, we might have got angry with it and kicked it apart. And we got a new printer coming tomorrow, haven't we? We hate our current printer. It's so troublesome.
I wanted to do a colouring this morning, but like it won't find our air printer, so
you kind of think it's just there. We know when it says you can't find the printer. You go, it's right there. It's right there. Why can't
I even had to go upstairs, and I was literally putting the phone right at it.
Yes, you can't think it's there. Right, brilliant. Okay, all right, we're going to have a slurp of hot chocolate. It's still a miserable. We can hear the kind of like the rain lashing down.
Yeah.
So time to go back inside the house and over quite a squelchy garden. So it's a ta-ta from us. We will see you back again tomorrow for more Christmas stories. Have a wonderful day. And it's a bye-bye from me and a bye-bye from Molly.